And it is time to get started. Hey, welcome to AtTheTrack.live. My name is Coach James. I am the creator and lead instructor for All About Aerodynamics. What is All About Aerodynamics? Glad you asked, even if you didn't ask. All About Aerodynamics is a science program where I use Hot Wheels cars to teach kindergarten through 6th grade students about a range of science and physics related topics, including but not limited to friction, force, aerodynamics, Isaac Newton and his 3 laws of motion, drag, lift, kinetic energy, potential energy, elastic force, a whole range of topics. After we have gone over the science, after we have conducted experiments to drive home those concepts, then and only then do I bring in about 400 different Hot Wheels cars, and each student has the opportunity to select a Hot Wheels car they think would be fastest in a series of races based on everything they've learned about aerodynamics. Then, after they've selected their cars, they make their observations. They take a picture of their car, they weigh their car, they test the speed of their car, they check the year the car was manufactured, they check the materials the car is made from. All of that information they can observe, they enter into a spreadsheet. After they've made all the observations, then we set up a 1/64 scale quarter-mile drag strip, and we have a race. We have many races. We have a tournament, and the students observe how their cars performed. And then they make a determination based on the results whether or not they would choose that car again if they had the opportunity based on what they observed. So in the end, we have fun with Hot Wheels cars. We learn science. What could be better? If you would like more information about All About Aerodynamics and how to bring our science program to your school, your organization, or your special event, all you have to do is go to our website, aaAerodynamics.com, or follow us on Instagram, aaAerodynamics, and all of the information you need is in the bio. You can contact me if you have any questions and find out more about this program that I say is pretty great. But this is not all about aerodynamics. This is all about aerodynamics presents At the Track Live. So with At the Track Live, I have to introduce cars into the fleet. Before I can bring the cars to the students to use, I have to make sure I know which cars I have. I have to have them organized. I have to have them cataloged, just so that I can keep track of all the cars I'm bringing in and bringing back. I have plenty of cars in storage, and I can't bring those into schools for students to use until I have cataloged those cars. It was a boring process, so I created At the Track Live, which allows me to go into storage each week, pull out some cars, crack those open, take a look, do a little review, get my picture, get my video of the cars, and then I'm able to have those cars ready for the students to use. But the reason why it's live is because you have the opportunity to participate. All you have to do is go to AtTheTrack.live, and you will have 3 options. One is the YouTube stream link, one is the Twitch stream link, which you don't need because you're already here. But the third link is the most important link. That is the link that says, choose your car. If you select that link, it will take you to this page. And on this page, you will see all of the cars that are currently in the All About Aerodynamics At the Track Live fleet listed, cataloged, and numbered. This is what all the cataloging work is for. There are currently 886 cars in the fleet. 886, technically 887 cars in the fleet. You can scroll through this page. We have cars from the 70s, cars from the 80s, cars from the 90s, the 2000s, and some that have just been released in the last month or so. There are trucks, there are cars, there are tanks, there are boats, there are airplanes, there are gimmick cars like the Tooligan that have a wrench on the back. There are old cars like this one, this Ice-T from the 70s, that I had when I was a kid. It's pretty beat up, and I don't think the original version looks like this. I think the original version has a top and a roof and a cover, but when I was a kid, I wasn't interested in keeping the cars in the package on a shelf. I played with these cars, and as long as the axles are straight, they're still making it into the fleet. Now, this car is the cars from back in the day were pretty much all metal on metal. So they're really heavy and don't really tend to do well on our track. But hey, if that's the car you want to pick, then all you have to do is take the number, in this case 300. You drop that into the chat. I will pull that car, and it will be entered into today's tournament. So it will compete against the cars that I introduce and any cars that any of the other viewers pick. We have this one, 304, the Invader. Never ending. He picked this car last week. Or maybe it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it was maybe 2 weeks ago. Or last week. Either way, he picked this one, and it actually performed better than I would have thought it would, given the size and the shape and just all the negatives that it had going for it. The weight, it was definitely up in the 40s in terms of grams. It had that turret. There's nothing particularly aerodynamically appealing about this thing, but this is why we race the cars, because you never know exactly how a car is going to perform. So if that's the car that you want to choose, again, then the number right there, 304. There are Batmobiles, there are Lamborghinis, there are Ferraris, there are trucks, there are dinosaur cars, there are drag cars, there are cars, well, not cars, a car shaped like a donut. We have the Donut Drifter. And we have plenty of food related cars. I think there's one that's a slice of birthday cake. There is a sushi roll car. And we have the one that Roughshot has picked and decided to go with today that is shaped like a hot dog. So we've got any kind of Hot Wheels car that you can think of. If we don't have that exact car, we have one very similar. This one, this Fast Fortress. I think this is the one that I think Never Ending is planning to race this one. And it's another of these cars with 6 wheels. Maybe that's just his. Maybe he's got some kind of insight that more wheels equals more speed. We will see if that's the case, if he decides to stick with this pick. We have this Minecraft minecart. This is the most unaerodynamic car that I think we've ever put on the track. And shockingly, it did not crash. And not only did it not crash, it was pretty fast. So sometimes the rules get thrown out and cars just outperform whatever we thought they were going to do and do something completely different. We have, like I said, there are plenty of Batmobiles. We've even got this little mini Batmobile. I don't remember how this one performed, but I don't think it was all that great. Hey, Star Wars, you into Star Wars? We've got Star Wars cars. We've got a Millennium Falcon car. We've got a Darth Vader car. We've got a Stormtrooper car. We've got an X-Wing fighter car. Again, there's buses. There are buses. There's this Trouble Decker. We've got this one. We've got the... there was one of the buses that we picked not too long ago that was actually did fairly well. Another surprise. We have this wheelchair, the wheelie car. I'm pretty sure this did not make it down the track. I think it's too light and just off balanced, and when it gets shot out of the launcher, it's gonna fly around, and nothing good is gonna come out of that. And as I'm scrolling through, I just saw yet another Batmobile. There's so many. There's another Batmobile. There's two more Batmobiles. Lamborghinis, Bugattis. You're into old TV shows. We've got this A-Team, the A-Team van right here. I put that in more for nostalgia purposes, more so than I expected it to actually do well. You want, what else do we have in here? There's trucks. We do have trucks. A lot of the trucks that I have, I can't put into the fleet because they're too wide and they don't fit into the launcher. So I have a whole box just full of trucks that can't race, unfortunately. So not sure what I'm going to do with those yet, but they're there. We have character cars. This Bugs Bunny car. We have, what's the other car? Black Panther car, where there's a Black Panther character sticking up. This Bugs Bunny car wasn't too slow. Wasn't too slow. I guess that's a nice way of saying it was slow. But, you know, if the Bugs Bunny character hadn't been sticking out of the top, I think that car may have done a little better on the track than it did. We've got, maybe you like luxury cars. We've got an 82 Cadillac Seville. Good looking car. Not much on the track, but if that's what you want to go with, you have that option. There are exotic supercars. There is, here we have this Ollie Rocket, which we brought out a couple of weeks ago because it went up against a bootleg version that I found. And we put the actual Hot Wheels version against the bootleg, and it turns out that the Hot Wheels versions of those cars came out on top, and they came out on top because they were a little heavier, and that was significant. Hot Wheels High, we've got another bus. We've got this other thing, this Tony Hawk Skate Grom right here. And I think we raced this one, I think we had to race it without the figure on the board because it just wouldn't fit into the launcher. Another Minecraft kart, the Creeper. And I believe someone told me that the Creeper is the name for the figure. Here's another bus, Ain't Fair. This is the one that actually did pretty well. This lowrider bus, this big rectangle, rumbled down the track. We had this fire truck, that Matchbox, that actually did pretty well. We've got gimmick cars, the Shark Bite, where the jaw is on a hinge, and bringing it right on down. 886, the Dune Crusher, and the reason this Mad Fast is listed as number 897, it just has to do with how I have to find space for these bigger cars in the box. So, whatever car it is that you're interested in, we have some version of it. If you know the exact car and you know the name, just tell me and I will look that car up, and I'll be able to check the spreadsheet and let you know if I have it. Christopher has brought this one up. Hey, Christopher. Hey, Virgo. This is our Oracle, what is it? The Oracle Red Bull Racing F1 car. And they have other versions of these. Christopher had sent me some pictures of these. But with these F1 cars, they're all the same. They just have different paint jobs. So this is the only one that I have currently, but the other ones would perform similarly because the only difference are the logos, the colors, things like that. But we have had this car race, and if this is a car that you want to see race, then all you have to do is take the number 802, drop it in the chat, and I will pull that car. So if you pick a car, it enters the tournament. Let's say you beat all the other cars, you win the tournament. Then what do you get? Well, you get the accolade of being today's tournament winner, but then your car gets to go up against our fastest in fleet car, which has been, and is still the Blitz Speeder. The Blitz Speeder is the fastest Hot Wheels car on the planet. It is our fastest in fleet champion. It is the car that has been just extremely dominant. The end of last year, it was champ for 4 months, and then it lost somehow, some way, to the Gazella R. And then earlier this year, it came back. We had a rematch. It blew the doors off the Gazella R and has not looked back since. It has had really very few, if any, even close races. We had a tournament of champions where we took all of the cars that had previously won races and won our tournaments, lined them all up for our 100th episode. Blitz Speeder beat them all. So this car is just far above every car we found so far to challenge it, but today might be the day that we find a car that can take it out. Now, the Blitz Speeder, one of the things we do know is that every Wednesday we have a program, Wind Tunnel Wednesday. We have the Funtech Labs 1/64th scale wind tunnel, the Runsible, and we put the cars in there, turn on the air or the smoke jets, and we can see how the air is flowing over, under, and around those cars, and get an idea about the aerodynamic profiles and how much drag is impacting these cars. And when we put the Blitz Speeder into the wind tunnel, we're able to see that it minimizes drag better than almost every other car that we put in the wind tunnel. And drag is one of the three forces that is working against these cars. There's drag, there's gravity, and there's friction. I'd say that drag is the most important because the faster an object moves through the air, the more drag impacts it. And the launcher that I've designed fires these cars out at an extremely high rate of speed, and so the faster that they're moving, the more they're going to be impacted by drag. And we see that time and time again on the track. But the Blitz Speeder is able to just minimize the impact of the drag better than all the rest of the cars. It maintains speed for longer, and ultimately wins the majority, all of its races except for those 2 races against the Gazella R last year. Speaking of Wind Tunnel Wednesday, so this past Wednesday I was excited because I received the Runsible, which is a dynamometer. I always get the word, stumble over it. Dynamometer, aka a dyno, which you put the car on, and it has rollers, 4 rollers, 2 under each wheel. And in the real world, it's people can test the cars and the engines and different things. But for our purposes, what it does is it's going to raise up the cars so that they can be impacted by more of the smoke streams in the wind tunnel. If you've never seen our Wind Tunnel Wednesdays, then this probably doesn't make any sense. But the Runsible, the dyno, was supposed to fit inside the wind tunnel, and unfortunately mine didn't fit. So I was thinking that maybe it was because I got an early version of the wind tunnel, that maybe the design had changed and that's why it didn't fit. So I had done a review and I was going to post it, and then I was looking because on the company's website the Runsible is inside the wind tunnel. Why didn't it work for me? So I was thinking about it, and then I remembered, oh, there's a filter. So let me switch over to this view here. We don't usually use this one on this program, but boom. Here we go. So the Runsible is this thing. and the Runsible is the wind tunnel. And it turns out there's a filter in the back right here. This back area, this whole part slides out, but it doesn't slide out easily. And I had to contact the manufacturers to ask them, how much force am I supposed to be applying to get this thing to pull out? And they said that on the early versions, the filter tended to stick, so you had to give it a lot of force. And I was worried because it's plastic, and I didn't want to break it. So I gave it a lot of force, and it eventually pops out. Well, once I popped this out, I was able to get the Runsible inside the Runsible. So now, on this coming Wednesday, when we put the cars in the wind tunnel, they're actually now raised up. So now some of the other air streams are going to be able to hit the cars, and we're going to kind of be able to get a better idea of what's happening underneath the car. Hopefully, that's the idea. And so the Runsible, you turn this on, and this is what it does. It simulates the car rolling. And now I do have some other issues with it. It's that the cars tend to drift to one side or the other. So I don't know if they'll stay lined up with the smoke stream, because the smoke stream is right in the middle. But if I move the car here, it will eventually just start to slide to the other side. But it's a cool little effect. So we're going to see what happens on Wednesday. This past Wednesday, before I figured out how to get this thing inside of there, it was a little disappointing. But we will see what happens this Wednesday. So Wind Tunnel Wednesday is going to be, it's every Wednesday, 4 p.m. Pacific. And it's on Instagram as well as Twitch and YouTube, because we are using a vertical format. So this, I had to go back and kind of change up my review. I didn't want to, post a review with bad information. So I'm glad that I was able to figure out how to get this inside the Runsible before I did the review. So I'll probably post that up sometime this weekend, now that I've gotten it all straightened out. So that is Wind Tunnel Wednesday, every Wednesday, 4 p.m. But we're here at the Track Live. We are, hey, Roughshod, we were talking about that. Bring out the hot dog. He picked the hot dog car, so that's going to be one. Christopher has decided to go with the Rodger Dodger 2.0, a car that we had in the wind tunnel on Wednesday. And we have, I think, Never Ending. We'll see if he shows up. He picked this, the Fast Fortress, which is that big World War II plane / car with the 6 wheels. So we'll see how that goes. But we will be introducing some new cars into the fleet. And when I was going through storage, I found, it was like Christmas, I found a bag that had cars that I'd picked up at this Hot Wheels swap meet, I guess last year at some point. But there were some cool cars in there, and a few that I think will probably, at least one, I think maybe ready to give the Blitz Speeder a run. I don't know. I say that all the time. Blitz Speeder weighs in at 32.4 grams, just so we are clear on that. We'll check the measurements and weights of the other cars when we get them. But the first one that's coming out that I found in the box it's a Hot Wheels, it's an ID car, which they don't make these anymore. The line, I guess it just didn't work out. It had different track components that the cars would interact with, because they had the little chip on the bottom. But it was expensive and, just didn't work out. But the great thing for me that I liked was that they made these ID cars, and they're premium cars, but most times the Hot Wheels premium cars have rubber wheels, and the rubber wheels are no good on our track because there's too much friction, so we can't race them. These were premium cars, but because they had to work with the Hot Wheels ID track, they had plastic wheels. So you get the premium car, plastic wheels, and I loved it. So I'm glad that I could find this one in the storage. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Super Blitzen. And these came packaged really nicely. They had a little magnet in there that snapped that shut. So all around, Hot Wheels just went all out. But unfortunately, like, I never even had any of the AtTheTrack components, because the other problem was that they only worked with the ID cars. So you spend all this money on an AtTheTrack, but then you can only use them with a handful of cars. So that really, you know, just didn't work out. So see, check this one out. The Super Blitzen. All right, let's see what it weighs in at. It's a premium car. I figure it'd be heavier. And it's not. It's 31.2 grams. So that is good news on that end. And let's go ahead and take a look at this one. This is a nice car. These premium cars, the Hot Wheels ID cars, they go all out with the paint, with the just everything. All right, we don't need 4K. That's what I think, hitting that 4K switch is what causes the camera to overheat. I don't know, but let's go ahead and avoid that. Get this video, because there is an online version of All About Aerodynamics, and since the students can't see the cars in person, then this is the next best option to get a good look at the car. This is the Super Blitzen, and it's got a little bit of Bugatti, a little bit of what else do I see in there? I think kind of Bugatti is what I kind of see when I look at it. But in terms of the aerodynamic profile, it's that the hood area is a little short, but that's not necessarily a problem. But coming up to the windshield and then the roof line, I think this car should do pretty well. I like they put even the little detail on the sidewalls, on the tires, on these ID cars. And then right there where I guess it would be the headlights or something at the front, you can see that it's open. So the air should be able to flow right through this area here. Now, where it goes after that, let me put it in focus. That might help. Where it goes after that, I'm not sure. But, see, I pressed my luck. I think I'm going to just have to, in the short term, just take the still pictures until I can figure out what's going on with that camera. All right, it'll just take a minute for it to get back together. So let's go ahead and check out another car that I picked up, that I found from the swap meet. And this one, wait, let's go. So there was this one, this Aston Martin Valhalla Concept car. I'm gonna check the spreadsheet, see if we already have one. I know there are definitely some Aston Martins. Aston Martin Vantage, Aston Martin Vulcan, and no Aston Martin Valhalla Concept car. So we will be putting this one in there. Oh, it's from the James Bond No Time to Die movie series. So, all right, let's see. All right, camera has cooled off. I can get my still picture, at least. Should be able to. I wonder if, now there's a light that I have near the camera. Take that off, get back over here. this up. And I don't know if the light being near the camera is what's causing the camera to overheat, but it happens. It's only this camera. It's only this one. All the other ones, fortunately, don't have this problem. But I don't know. Something about it. All right, let's get this still picture here. Looks good. Oh, I know. Looks good, but I need to put in a little bit of fill light right there. Boom. Now it's looking even better. Right there. All right. The Super Blitzen Hot Wheels ID car is in the fleet. It is number 887, and we are ready to go. We have, let me check the year. It's manufactured. That is 2018. Okay. Now we'll crack open this Aston Martin Valhalla Concept car. Let's see. Christopher says he has a couple of cars that are the same. Velocita in white and a 68 Dodge Dart Mopar livery. I think I might have that 68 Dodge Dart. It sounds familiar. But that's cool. Let's see. Okay, so this Aston Martin's weighing in at 31.4. So right off the back, we have two cars that are pretty light. They're just basically a half a gram outside of what we would consider the sweet spot, which is basically 32 grams to 36 grams. The cars that have performed the best on our track have tended to be in that range. But it's not always. It's not a law, because we have had cars like that. Those buses. We had that tank last week. We've had some heavier cars that have given some surprising results. So the weight is not always the determining factor. It's just a factor. And when you go heavy, then, there's some trade-offs. But it's one of the reasons why a lot of the cars that I have from the 70s just don't do as well. A long time ago, like early on with AtTheTrack.live, we had the Mountain Dew car. It's one that I had from the 80s. It's metal on metal, heavy car, and it did pretty well. But once you start getting into the higher levels, the faster cars on our track, like when you're talking about the Blitz Speeder. Let me put it in focus. That might help get a better look at the car. The Blitz Speeders, the Gazellas, those types of cars, you really can't afford to have a car that's that heavy and expect it to do all that well. This car, there's nothing, I don't see anything special about this car. It reminds me of one of the newer Corvettes, and it is, I think it should do well. I think it should be perfectly fine. I don't have any special expectations of this car. Aston Martin Valhalla Valhalla Concept. Boom. That is car number 888. 888 cars in the fleet. That is pretty wild. And I know that, lots of Hot Wheels collectors have lots of Hot Wheels cars, and, thousands of cars. But I don't know too many people who have cataloged the cars like this to make it available. Maybe they have. Maybe this is a very common thing. But I know that when I first started doing it, my son and I sat down. He was helping me out, And man, it was just a grind to do, and it was just not enjoyable at all. But I'm glad we pushed through. At the time, we only had a couple, about 200 cars, 200 or 300 cars to go through. But I'm glad we did it because I like having all the cars available on the website and being able to find them quickly and easily. So this one, the Aston Martin Valhalla Concept, weighs in at 31.4 grams, and we'll see what it can do. I don't know. All right, let's see what else do we have. 60. Let's see. Christopher wants to know if I have a 68 Dodge Dart. I will check. 68. 65, 67. Yep, 68 Dodge Dart is car number 338. Let's take a look, see which one that is. Car 338. 338 right here. 68 Dodge Dart. That is a good looking car. It's just, I say this every week. It's strange. Sometimes Hot Wheels, they put a lot of detail and into the cars, and then other times not so much. But this is a car that maybe someone will pick in the future, but it hasn't been picked today. So we are going to continue on and see what else I found in the flea market finds. There is the flea market, the swap meet. There was this one. Another good-looking car, the Cadillac ATS-V R. Let's see. It reminds me of the Bentley. There's a Bentley coupe something, but it looks very similar to this. But let me just check and make sure we don't already have this. The 16 Cadillac. We do not. We have a 16 Angels, 16 Bugatti Chiron, 16 Lamborghini Centenario Roadster, and a 16 Mercedes AMG G23. So, we now have a 2016 Cadillac ATS-V R. All right, let's check it out. And let me see if I can, that Bentley. Is the Bentley, yeah, the Bentley must have a year attached to it, because I know I have it and I know it's green. But that's about all I know, because it's not there. So, all right, let's take a look at this one. This is the, wrong screen, right there, the Cadillac. And this is a good looking car as well. A lot of details. I like that. I like the color on it. The gray accents, the gray wheels. It's a good looking car. Let me add it into the spreadsheet. This is car number 889. And the first thing I'm noticing is that huge wing. That wing in the back right there. It's big, it's flat, it's right at the roof line. I think that is a pretty good sign. Now it sticks out beyond the back of the car a little far, and that may not be kind of the ideal situation, but cars with those wings higher up have tended to do pretty well. It helps, I think it helps give them a better launch, because again, they're coming out with so much force, and if the launching block is pushing the car from below, they're likely to kind of go up into the air. When the point of contact is higher, they tend not to fly up into the air, but that's just kind of my theory. I haven't really really put it to the test yet, but we have noticed cars with that wing higher up at the roof line have done pretty well. So let me add this one in, the 16 Cadillac ATS-V R. I have no idea what any of those mean, but you know, hey, let's see. Hey Keegan, how you doing? This car is 2017. This is a really good looking car, and they put in a lot of detail. I mean, you have some cars with no detail, and then you have this one that they even put the little Cadillac badge like right in the front. I mean, it's a little, you know, splotchy and blurry, but we know what it is. Let me get I got the information in, but I didn't take my still picture because we can't add a car to the fleet without a picture. So let's get this car lined up. The Bentley, what is that? What's the year on that Bentley? I see it in the stores. They put it out with different colors and such. The one I have, like I said, is green. Let's get this here. Boom. And now we have this Cadillac ATS-V R, and I think I looked. Yeah, 2017. Just double checking, adding that information in. It's just another piece of information to keep. And let me check. That Bentley is huh. I know it's in here. Oh, there we go. The Bentley Continental GT3. It's car number 797. Oh, okay, I see Keegan has picked a car, 441. We'll take two looks. We're going to look at that Bentley 797. 797 is, oh, okay. I knew it had some green. I do have a green one, but this one. So, yeah, this kind of reminds me of that Cadillac. It's not exactly the same. I definitely see the differences, and mainly the difference is the wing on that Cadillac is huge. It's a lot bigger than this one. So we'll see how that all plays out. And now let's check out, see which car. Check out Keegan's pick. And that is number 441. Go back up here and see what he has selected. 441, okay. The Night Draggin. So this is an interesting pick because this is one of those fantasy cars that it's almost impossible to kind of tell how it's going to perform because it's just so different than every other car that we're going to put on the track. And so let me just double check Night Draggin. Night Draggin. Okay. So let's see. This car, I have no idea about it. I would look at the back. I'm not sure. I mean, we'll see it after I pull it, how that wing is set up in the back. And if it's flat enough, it looks like it has a bit of a curve. But if it's flat, then this car should get a good push out of the launching block. Once that happens, I think all bets are off. If this car can get a good launch, then, you know, anything can happen. But we're going to have to see the back end of that car to really have an idea about what's going to happen. So, okay, we've got the Night Draggin. We've got Roughshod, the Street Weiner. We've got Christopher with the Rodger Dodger 2.0. And we are ready to go. We've got the cars that I have introduced so far. And I still have a few more because I went into the storage. And like I said, I found a bag that had cars that I picked up at the Hot Wheels swap meet. And we're going to introduce a few more. So here's one that I'm going to introduce, and it is the Dune Daddy. Now, I'm not, ordinarily, I wouldn't think that this car is going to do all that well on the track, but if you notice, first let me check and make sure I don't already have one. We have a Dune Crusher. And that's that. Okay, but this one has the little best for track designation, and we're gonna see if that means anything. I think it's just marketing, and you know, you got to put something new on the package and different to catch the eyes of kids and collectors. So I don't know that best for track actually means anything. But we're going to find out. What's it say on the back here? The Dune Daddy, born in 2018 in El Segundo, right down the street. Great leaping sand dunes. Dune Daddy is built for extreme off-road action. There's a giant wheel carrier on the roof and a rugged utility bar with 3 lights mounted on top. The bodywork is kicked up in the back to make room for its giant sand-spewing wheels as you roar by the shore. Okay. We'll see. Dune Daddy. Let's crack it open. Alright. Did I weigh? Didn't weigh the Cadillac. Cadillac weighs in at 37.5 grams. So it is, at this point, the heaviest car of the day. The Dune Daddy weighs in at 31.1. So it's pretty interesting. We've had a car that's been 31.1, 31.4, and 31.2, which is interesting that they would be that close in weight. Let's go over here, take a look at the Dune Daddy, and this is it. Like I said, the best for track thing is what caught my eye. I don't know that otherwise, if it hadn't had that, I would have any expectations of this car, but I just haven't been able to find out if best for track actually means that there's something different they did with the car, or if it's just marketing. We do know, and we've talked about it before, the faster than ever wheels from back in the day. Faster than ever wheels means that the axle is nickel plated, and that reduces the amount of friction, allows the wheels to spin a little more freely, and therefore they don't slow down as quickly, so they're faster on the track. But what does best for track mean? I don't know. Let's see. Year on the Dune Daddy, 2018. And I mean, it's an interesting looking car. You always want to have cars that, if every car is a Lamborghini and every car is a Ferrari and every car is a Corvette, that's boring. So at least we've got some variety in terms of the types of cars. We've got the Dune Daddy. I'm going to throw some light on that. And then we are, boom, one more car in. We are up to car number 890. And let me see. So far we have the Blitzen, what was it called? Super Blitzen. The Super Blitzen, the Aston Martin, the Cadillac. We've got the Dune Daddy. And I think we need to add in another one. Another car. Let's see. What is it going to be? I think we're going to go with this one that came in kind of loose. It was just in this this little package here. That's some of the other things that when you go to these the Hot Wheels swap meet, most of the people who are there are trying to buy the premium cars, and that's not what I'm looking for. So then you can they'll have just bins with loose cars, and they will be pretty cheap. But they're loose. But as long as the axles are straight, the wheels spin, it's good. So this one is called this is the 67 Austin minivan. And I just need to check. I don't think I have one, but always got to double check because I really don't want duplicates in the fleet unless there is some actual difference. 67, we do not have one of these, so we do now. 67 Austin minivan. Hey, Caitlin. All right, Caitlin's made a pick, so we will check that out right after we look at this 67 Austin minivan. Let's put that there and take a look. This one is, well, I'll get the still picture first and then we'll take a little 360 view. Boom. All right. This one, I don't, especially given the competition today, I don't expect much from this car, but you got to put them on the track, and you never know. This is the, what did I say, the 67. Get this exactly right. Austin minivan. 67 Austin minivan is in the fleet. What year was it manufactured? This is from 2014. And it's cool. Roughed up little paint job. I like it. All right, let's see. Caitlin has picked car number 154. So let's go ahead and see what that is. 154. Last time she picked the Boulevard Bruiser, I believe. And now, this time, okay. It's going with the little hatchback, the 2012 Ford Fiesta. And that is a solid pick. That little rally car, and the size I think is going to, it should help it because I like the aerodynamics profile of this car. It's compact. If the weight is right, I hope it's not too light. Speaking of weight, that Austin minivan is 38.5 grams, so it's a little heavier. It's now our heaviest car. It's taken the place of the Cadillac in terms of being the heaviest car today. But this one, a little compact rally car, Ford Fiesta. I can see this. I wouldn't be surprised if this car does well. I'm just, that weight needs to be, it needs to be right. If it's too light, I can see this car definitely getting slowed down toward the back end, but we will see. So I think we've got a pretty solid lineup. Let's see, how many cars do we have so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then these picks, we're going with 8. So I think we've got a good solid lineup. I do have a couple of other cars that I found from the swap meet bag that I discovered, but I think we'll hold off on those for next week. And what I will do is I'm going to go and pull these cars, and then we will be all ready to hit the track and see which car is going to come out on top and take the title. Oh, I missed it. Keegan, what is the wind tunnel? The wind tunnel is, I bought this device from Funtech Labs. It is a 1/64 scale wind tunnel, and so we can put the Hot Wheels cars in there and turn on the fans, and it blows smoke streams across the car. It's a wind tunnel. And what we can do is we can see how the air flows over, under, and around the cars, and it gives us an idea about how much drag the cars are going to face when they go down the track. And when we look at the Blitz Speeder, our fastest car, we see how the air flows over that car. When we put other cars in there, it's different, and we can tell basically how drag is going to impact the cars on the track based on what we see in the wind tunnel. So we do that every Wednesday at 4 p.m. on YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram. And we looked a little earlier, I just gave a peek of the wind tunnel, which this is what it looks like. And when I have it hooked up, then what you'll see on Wednesdays is smoke. 5 smoke streams come out of this side, and they hit the car, and then they flow over the car, and we're able to see how the air moves over, under, and around the cars. It's pretty interesting, and it's especially interesting when you combine it with racing the cars on the track, because there's a definite, you'll be able to see kind of a correlation between how the cars perform in the wind tunnel and then how they perform on the track. So it's something that I'd invite you to join us 4 p.m. on Wednesdays, and it is pretty interesting. All right, I am going to go and pull these cars. I am also, I guess I might pull Never Ending Fast Fortress, because if he shows up once we're already started the races, he might still want his car to race. So I'm going to go pull these cars, and then we'll get ready to race. So here is the little bathroom break music. I'll be back in just a minute or two. Wrong thing. That's not the bathroom break. This is the bathroom break. Nice, flush it. All right, let's take a look. We'll take a look at, first up, at Caitlin's Ford Fiesta, which weighs in at 28.4 grams. So it is light, and that is, you know, we'll see how that kind of plays out. What we tend to see with cars that are light and small is that toward the back end of the track, drag gets to them and they slow down, and that really is what ends up being kind of the downfall of the smaller, lighter cars. But we will see if that's the case with this one, and that's what you want to look for, is does this car appear to slow down at the back end of the track? I think at the beginning it'll be fine, but towards the back end, watch it and see if it looks like it starts to slow down. If that's the case, you know that basically drag is to blame. All right, we've got this interesting, probably the day's most interesting pick from Keegan, this Night Dragon. Let's see what this one weighs. This one comes in at 30.7 grams, so it's actually pretty light. Let's take a look here. Now, the part I was interested in the most is the back, and it looks like, despite the kind of curve to it, that back, that wing is going to be pretty good. It's going to work out well. And I really don't know what to expect from this car. I don't know what kind of launches it's going to get. I would think they would be okay, but there's just a lot going on. This is a car that we might put in the wind tunnel, even though, because it's kind of narrow, even though it's shaped like a Dragon, if you just kind of break it down to kind of the basic elements, it's still got that kind of F1 car thing where it's just really this middle section is where everything is happening, and everything on the left and right is just the wheel wells. But this is the center section. So if we can get this thing lined up just right, we would see the air flowing, but I don't know that we'd be able to determine all that much because it's such a crazy design. But we're going to see what happens on the track with the Night Dragon. So we've got that lined up. This was Never Ending's pick, which let's weigh this in. If he shows up, we'll race it. If not, probably won't. 32.1 grams. It is this one. It is the Fast Fortress, and based off the Flying Fortress, the World War II plane, and it's got 6 wheels. It is not it's not as heavy as I thought, coming in at 32.1 grams. It's right at the same weight as the Blitz Speeder. So that's kind of interesting there, but beyond that, even though it's based on an airplane, I don't know if the aerodynamics are going to help it move down the track. I think there's just a lot working against it, but you never know. Main thing I'm looking at is the back end, and it comes to this point, and that's not really what you want to see in a car on our track. You don't want the back end to come to a point like that. You want it to be flat, because that means that point right there is going to be the only part of the car that's touching the launching block, and so that doesn't make for good consistent launches. So I don't know if that's exactly what you want. All right, so we have that. Then, of course, we have Christopher's pick, which was the Rodger Dodger 2.0, and we had that car in the wind tunnel. It was one of 2 cars he was considering, and it weighs in at 35.2 grams, so it's right in the sweet spot in terms of the weight. And it's got slightly larger wheels in the back, smaller wheels in the front. The back end is pretty flat. It's got a little bit of a Camaro vibe to it. And what we don't know is how those engines sticking up in the center are going to impact it in terms of drag. We saw in the wind tunnel that they definitely caused a problem with the airflow, but we'll see how that all works out on the track, because as I've mentioned before, a lot of this is about matchups, and if you get matched up with the right car, then anybody can take a race, as we've seen in the past. So we'll see if that holds for the Rodger Dodger 2.0. And then last but not least, we have Roughshod's pick of the Street Weiner, which is coming in at 30.2 grams. And this is just a cool concept here. It is a hot dog. You've got the grill in the back. The grill opens up, but we are going to keep it closed, obviously, for the race purposes. But the grill opens up in the back. You've got the hot dog. You've even got, I just noticed, like, it's got this, like the little paper to put the hot dog in right here. It's got the little spatula, spoiler, or splitter in the front, and hot dog right down the middle. So when you take away the hot dog part of it, you know, again, it's got that kind of F1 IndyCar design where everything is happening right in the middle. The wheels on the outside, at least they're protected. The front wheels are protected. Let me lock down the grill. And it does have a little snap, so it will stay closed. And this car, I have seen this car win a tournament. It was picked by a student at one of the schools I was at, and it did a great job. So we're going to see if it can uphold its reputation or if the mustard's going to come off this hot dog. We're going to find out. We've got those cars. We've got the Cadillac ATS-V ATS-V R. We've got the Austin Mini van. We've got the Aston Martin Valhalla Concept car. We've got the Super Blitzen, and and the Dune Daddy. And the Dune Daddy with the best for track situation that it's claiming to have. All right, if this is your first time watching an all about aerodynamics at the Track Live race, here is what you are about to see. You are going to see our 3-camera track view. The cars are going to start at the top of the screen on the left in the launcher. I'm going to give a countdown, 3, 2, 1, race. I will hit the switch. The cars will come firing out of the launcher from top to bottom. They will pass out of the bottom of the screen on the left. They will show up at the top of the screen in the middle. They will go from top to bottom, passing out of the bottom of the middle screen, showing up at the top of the screen on the right. They will come from top to bottom and cross our finish line. When they cross the finish line, the winning car will be indicated with a solid red light. A solid red light indicates the winning car. A flashing red light indicates the losing car. Solid red light winner, flashing red light loser. Then the cars will switch lanes because the races are best 2 out of 3. Cars will switch lanes, we'll race them, and the first car to take 2 races will move on in the tournament. Now, if a car crashes and leaves the track, no problem. We throw out the results of that race and we line the cars back up and they go again. If the same car crashes twice consecutively, it is disqualified, because if a car crashes twice consecutively, then there's a problem with the car and the track and the launch that it's getting that's not going to be solved by just rerunning the same race. So if a car crashes twice consecutively, it's out. Now, if a car crashes but stays on the track, then it just loses. We've had that happen. So if your car that you're rooting for, the car that you picked, is on the track and it crashes, you want it to crash and leave the track. You don't want it to crash and just stay upside down and do something cool and slide down the track. You want it to crash and be done so that we can reset and restart the race. But those are the rules. Those are the cars. I have everything that I need, and we are about to hit the track. So I will see you over there in 30 seconds. All right, let me just double check the audio. 1, 2. Yep, we're good. All right, we are ready to go. We have a good, solid lineup of cars. I am really wondering about a couple of these in particular. Actually, there's most of these cars. There's some questions. So with Caitlin's Ford, I'm curious if drag is going to impact it. With Keegan's Night Dragon, I just want to see what happens with that car. With Roughshod's hot dog car, is it going to perform as well as it did the last time that I saw it race? I don't know. That Cadillac with the huge wing, how's that going to work out? The Rodger Dodger 2.0, is it going to be impacted by drag noticeably with those two big engines sticking up out of the top? So what we'll do is let's go with we'll go with the Rodger Dodger 2.0, and we'll put it up against the Cadillac ATS-V R. And I switched out the elastic band in the launcher earlier today, and so we should get some really high speeds, some significant crashes if we get crashes. Hopefully we don't, but it's always a possibility. These cars are coming out at an extremely high rate of speed, and a fresh band means more speed. All right, we've got the cars lined up for our first race of the day. We've got the Cadillac AVS, whatever it was. The Cadillac's in lane 1. The Rodger Dodger 2.0 is in lane 2. Race 1, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Woo. Good solid race. Rodger Dodger 2.0 had some good speed, took that race from the Cadillac, and we will switch lanes and see if the Rodger Dodger can make a clean sweep or if we're going to have a third race. So that was, the cars were pretty close for about the first half of the track, and then the Rodger Dodger started to open it up, and I believe, didn't the Cadillac was on the heavier side. I think it was about 38 grams, and size matters on the track. It is not going to be like, there's a reason why we say there's a sweet spot, and if you're outside the sweet spot, then you can have some kind of adverse things happen to the car. So we've switched lanes. We've got the Cadillac in lane 2. We've got the Rodger Dodger in lane 1. Race 2, here we go. 2, 1, race. That race was much closer, but the Rodger Dodger was able to pull it out. The Cadillac had a lead for a little while, but couldn't maintain it. And if you can't maintain the lead, then that's exactly what happens to you. You end up losing the race. All right, next up, let's go with we're gonna go with how about we're gonna go with Caitlin's Ford Fiesta against the Aston Martin, not Aston Martin, the 67 Austin minivan. So the minivan versus the Ford Fiesta. Get these cars lined up here. We will put the Ford Fiesta in lane 2. We will put the Austin Mini. Get this lined up in lane 1. Ford Fiesta in lane 2. All right, here we go. Ford Fiesta lane 2, 67 Austin Mini van in lane 1. Race 1, here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. The Ford took that with ease and by a mile. So that is that Austin minivan. It's cute. It's got a cool paint situation, but that's not gonna help you. Looking good is not enough. You've got to actually perform on the track, and that car did not. That was pretty bad, but it's got an opportunity to come back and see what it can do. We are putting the Austin minivan in lane 2. Ford Fiesta is now in lane 1. Here we go, race number 2. Three, 2, 1, race. Ooh. That was much, much, much closer. But as you can see from the solid red light, the Ford took the race, and the Ford will, in fact, be moving on. At least that minivan didn't get blown out twice. That would have been just embarrassing and a little sad. But we will now see what we can do here. Hey Cindy, let's see. You want car number 45? All right. What I'll do is we will run this next race. And then after we finish that, I will pull your car and we will add it to the mix. All right, let's see. Let's go with, we're going to go with, so Never Ending's not here. But we're going to put, let's see. You know what? I'll replace Never Ending's car with Cindy's pick. So let's go ahead. Let me go ahead and grab car number 45. See what that is. Let's see. Car number 45. Okay. Got it right here. Cindy has gone with the 24/7. And we will take a closer look at that when we get back into the garage after the races. So we'll go with that. We'll take let's see. We'll take her 24/7, and we're going to put that up against the Super Blitzen. So we'll run that race. And we are going to put the 24/7 in lane 2, and we will put the Super Blitzen in lane 1. Super Blitzen is the ID car, and it is like all the other ID cars. It's basically a premium car, but it just has the plastic wheels, which is great. All right, so we've got the 24/7 in lane 2. We've got the Super Blitzen in lane 1. Race 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. Woohoo! 24/7 pulls it out. That race was close. The Super Blitzen had a lead, and then the 24/7 picked up that. Well, I say it picked up speed at the end and passed it. What we know happens is that a car starts to slow down. And for whatever reason, the Super Blitzen began to slow down toward the back end, which allowed the 24/7 to come through, pass it up, and take the race. The 24/7, it's got kind of a Mazda Nissan vibe to it. Good looking car. I don't think I've seen this one race before. It is now lined up in lane 1. Super Blitzen is lined up in lane 2. So we've got 24/7 lane 1, Super Blitzen lane 2, race 2, here we go. Three, two, one, race. Same story. Super Blitzen got out to a lead, and then the 24/7 passed it at the end, which means that it's probably drag, again, that slowed down the Super Blitzen, because it was not able to maintain its speed or its advantage that it had for 2/3 of the race. And that just goes to show you that drag is important. So when we look at the cars in the wind tunnel on Wednesday, then you really get a better sense for how important drag is, how it impacts these cars, and what that means in terms of their performance on the track. All right, we have, we're going to go with the Aston Martin Valhalla Concept against Roughshod's Street Weiner, the hot dog car that I've seen it win a tournament. Can it win this tournament today? It's all about matchups. If you get the right matchup, then you can be good for a long time. We've got the hot dog car, the Street Weiner in lane 2, the Aston Martin Valhalla Concept car in lane 1. This is race number 1. And if I can get the Aston Martin to stay in place, we can start the race. But it is moving away from the launching block, so we are going to have to make a little adjustment. It's now sitting tight. All right, we've got the Aston Martin Valhalla Concept in lane 1. We've got the Street Weiner in lane 2. Race 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. Oh. Street Weiner got out to a lead, and then about halfway through, the Aston Martin starts to pull ahead. And so, why is the Street Weiner slowing down? There's drag, there's friction, there's gravity. I forget what this car weighed, but that may have played a role, because we know that cars that are light tend to be impacted by drag toward the back end of the track. And anytime you notice a car start to slow down or get passed, if you see a car speed up, this is how it appears. If you see a car speed up and pass another car, well, it's not, what you're seeing is not exactly what you think you're seeing. You're not seeing one car speed up. You're seeing one car slow down. And the car that slows down ends up giving the appearance that the other car is speeding up. So the real question is, why is the one car slowing down? And usually we can look to drag first for that answer. But we have switched lanes. We have the street wiener in lane 1. We have the Aston Martin Valhalla Concept car in lane 2, race 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Whew. That Aston Martin left no doubt in that race. That was just a beating right from the beginning. So that is that Aston Martin is moving on. The street wiener is going back on the grill. Let's see. We now have, we're going to go ahead and roll with Never Ending's Flying Fortress, or Fast Fortress, which is based on the Flying Fortress. And then we will see which of these two cars comes out on top. The Fast Fortress is the one that's based on the World War II plane, and then we have the Night Draggin. I don't know if that's what I just said, but either way, this is Keegan's Night Draggin. It's in lane 2, and it's just such an odd car. I have no idea what to expect. So we've got the Fast Fortress in lane 1. We've got the Night Draggin, the Dragon-based Hot Wheels car, in lane 2. This is race 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. That Fast Fortress is slow. This Night Draggin, though. Okay, the Night Draggin came back. It bounced back and tapped the starting block. Now, as I mentioned in the past, a lot of this stuff, if you've watched these races, you'll hear me say there's some themes that come out. And one of the themes is Isaac Newton's third law of motion, that for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So, when the cars hit the memory foam barrier at the end of the track, they're going to bounce back. That's the action, and then the reaction is they're going to bounce back. Depending on how much force they hit that memory foam barrier with determines how far back up the track they return. Some of the fastest cars, they hit that memory foam barrier, they bounce all the way back to the launcher. And that is what happened with the Night Draggin. It hit the memory foam barrier, bounced all the way back, and tapped the starting block, which is pretty impressive, and not many cars are able to do that, and it suggests that it's moving at an extremely high rate of speed. So we'll see if it can keep it up. We've got the Fast Fortress in lane 2, the Night Draggin in lane 1, race 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Here comes the Night Draggin. Look at it. Is it going to tap? Okay, it didn't quite get all the way back, but it got down pretty fast. That was an impressive win, especially for a car that, coming out, I had no idea what to expect. So we may have found our sleeper. And apparently the pilot of the Fast Fortress was asleep at the wheel, because that was a terrible performance. All right, now we have, let's see, we have Keegan's Night Draggin, we have Caitlin's Ford, we have Christopher's Rodger Dodger, we have Cindy's 24/7, we have the Valhalla Concept, and we have the Dune Daddy, which has not raced. So we're going to go Dune Daddy versus Ford Fiesta and see which car comes out on top. We have, so the Dune Daddy has that best for track designation, and it is too tall to use our standard acrylic cover, which helps keep the cars on the track. So I'm going to have to switch to the taller cover. Now the question is, will switching to that taller cover hurt the chances of, and hurt the launch of the smaller car, the Ford Fiesta? Hopefully not. I'll keep an eye on that, but we'll see what happens. The Ford Fiesta is lined up in lane 2, and the Dune Daddy is lined up in lane 1. Race 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. Close race. Dune Daddy takes it. We will see if that is the result that we're going to see in race number 2, or if the Ford Fiesta is going to be able to take out the Dune Daddy and force that third and final race. The Dune Daddy did have that best for track designation, which, you know, we still don't know exactly what that means, if anything, beyond just a marketing gimmick. But hey, it was best on the track in that race. So we'll see if it can keep it up. The Dune Daddy is going to be in lane number 2. The Ford Fiesta is going to be in lane number 1. Dune Daddy, got to get it lined up here. And now it's ready to go. Dune Daddy lane 2, Ford Fiesta lane 1, race number 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. And that one was not close. Dune Daddy takes it by a large, wide margin. So we now have one more car eliminated. One more car moving on as we get a little bit closer to finding out which of these cars is going to take on the Blitz Speeder in our final fastest in fleet round. All right, let's go. Next up, we're going to go Rodger Dodger 2.0 against the Night Dragon. So Christopher versus Keegan, and we will see which of these cars is coming out on top. Switch this here. All right, Rodger Dodger 2.0 is going into lane 2. Night Dragon is going into lane number 1. And the Night Dragon had a very impressive performance in the first race, but we're going to see what happens. So Night Dragon lane 1, Rodger Dodger 2.0 lane 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. That Night Dragon might be a problem. It has won each of its races with a lot of speed, coming almost all the way back, and in one case, coming back, tapping the launching block. So that is an indication this car is fast. Is it Blitz Speeder fast? I don't know. Is it fast enough to win today's tournament? Is it Dune Daddy fast? I don't know. We're going to find out, though, before the afternoon is up. Cars have switched lanes. We now have the Night Draggin in lane 2, the Rodger Dodger 2.0 in lane 1, race 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Here comes the Night Draggin all the way back. This might be we might be about to see some AtTheTrack.live history in the making, because these performances by the Night Draggin are not typical. This car is fast, period, and it is moving on. So now we have the Night Draggin, the Dune Daddy, the 24/7, and the Valhalla Concept. So we're going to go 24/7 versus Valhalla Concept, and we will see if Cindy's pick is going to move ahead and potentially challenge for our fastest in fleet title. The 24/7, it was a late entry, but it's here. It took its first race. It's in lane 2. The Valhalla Aston Martin Valhalla Concept car is in lane 1, race 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Woohoo! That 24/7 is fast as well. Is it as fast as the Night Draggin? I don't know. I mean, it seems like we're on that kind of collision course, but that was an impressive performance. The cars are going to switch lanes, and I've been keeping an eye out, and it doesn't appear like I haven't seen any bad launches from any of these cars. So the performances we've seen have not necessarily been related to getting bad launches. It's just how it's turned out. So we're going to switch lanes here. And put the 24/7 in lane 1. We are going to put the Valhalla Concept car in lane 2. Now we're ready to go. Race number 2. Here we go. Valhalla Concept in lane 2. 24/7 in lane 1. Three, two, one, race. Oh. Okay, we have a race on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. The Valhalla Concept car took that one and took it by about as big a margin as the 24/7 took the first race. So now we're going to race number 3 to determine which car is going to move on with the Dune Daddy and the Night Draggin. Will it be the Valhalla Concept car? Will it be the 24/7? I don't know. We are going to find out right now, getting these cars lined up again. We have the 24/7 this time, switching back over to lane 2. And the Valhalla Concept car in lane 1. This is what you want to see. You want to see the races going down to a third and final race, and that's what we have. Valhalla Concept car in lane 1, 24/7 in lane 2, race number 3. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Wow. As you can tell from the solid red light, the Valhalla Concept car took it. That race was close. I couldn't, anytime that I have to look at the lights in order to tell which car won, it's a close race. But that was probably the closest race of the day. And both of those cars are fast, but there can only be one And this time it was the Valhalla Concept car that came back and took 2 races in a row, something that we have seen in the past. Now we're down to 3 cars. We have the Dune Daddy, we have the Night Dragon, we have the Valhalla Concept car. We're going to go Dune Daddy versus Night Dragon and see what happens. Switching the covers over, because that Dune Daddy has that tall, it has a tire sticking up on the top. It's like a safari off-road kind of vehicle. It's got that tire sticking up, and that means I have to use this taller acrylic cover. With that in mind, we're going to put the Night Dragon in lane 2. The Dune Daddy is in lane 1. The Night Dragon has had the most impressive performance of the day so far. It's been particularly fast, and we'll see if the Dune Daddy has what it takes to beat it out. All right, we've got the Night Dragon, Keegan's pick. In lane number 2, we have the Dune Daddy in lane 1. Race 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. The Night Dragon had absolutely no problem in that race, and I mean these performances are impressive because of the size of these wins, the margin of victory. That is telling me that this Night Dragon is, just it may be one of the fastest cars we've seen on the track. We're gonna see if it comes out on top. It's still got a couple races to go to prove that it is worthy, but everything I'm seeing so far tells me this car is definitely going to be a worthy challenger, possibly to the BlitzSpeeder. BlitzSpeeder really better watch out. All right, we've got this car lined up. The Night Dragon is in lane 1. We've got the Dune Daddy in lane 2. Dune Daddy has some work to do. Here we go, race 2. Three, two, one, race. That race was a little closer, but here comes the Night Dragon. Every time it is returned all the way back. Once it actually tapped the launching block, which shows how fast it is. It beat out the Dune Daddy, which means that our final matchup today is going to be the Valhalla Concept car against Keegan's Night Dragon, which came out of nowhere, looked and looks just bizarre, but it doesn't matter how it looks. It matters how it performs, and it's performing incredibly well on the track. And if it can take out the Valhalla Concept car, it will be ready to go. So here we go. Let's get these cars lined up. The Valhalla Concept car is in lane 2. The Night Dragon is in lane number 1. Get it pushed in right there. All right. Valhalla Concept car in lane 2. The Night Dragon in lane 1. This is our finals matchup. Here we go. Race 1. Three, two, one, race. Wow. Here comes the Night Dragon. Once again, all the way back. The Aston Martin Valhalla Concept car. Absolutely destroyed. But we have 2 more races to go. And we just saw the Aston Martin win 2 races in a row to make it to the finals. So we'll see what happens. But I think the Blitz Speeder better be warming up and getting ready, because this looks like it's going to be the first serious competitor, challenger, in a while. But before we get there, the Night Draggin has to win 1 more race. So the Night Dragin's in lane 2. We have the Valhalla Concept car in lane 1. Race number 2. Here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. Here comes the Night Draggin. Is it going to tap the starting block? Not quite, but that was impressive. I think this is the first time I can legitimately say the Blitz Speeder is in some trouble. The Blitz Speeder is in some trouble. If you have been watching, tuning in over the last however many weeks, months, where'd that other car go? Oh, it's down there. You'll know that the Blitz Speeder has rarely faced any competition. Forget even getting beaten, just competition. This Night Draggin is extremely fast. And I think the Blitz Speeder, this could be it. You could be watching AtTheTrack.live history being made. We've been looking for a car to challenge the Blitz Speeder. We may have found it with this Night Draggin. This Night Draggin is just a next level car. The speed is incredible. The design is bizarre. But if it can pull off these 2 wins and take down the Blitz Speeder, then, you know, we'll have to take a serious look at what exactly we just saw. But that hasn't happened yet. It still has to beat the car. To be the car, you got to beat the car. And right now the car is the Blitz Speeder. The Blitz Speeder is our fastest in fleet champion. It's lined up in lane 1. We have the Night Draggin in lane number 2. And this is race 1 for the fastest in fleet title. Night Draggin lane 2, Blitz Speeder lane 1, race 1, here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. Wow. The Blitz Speeder's like, yeah, I heard what you're saying, but I don't care. And the Blitz Speeder took out the Night Draggin. The Night Draggin, which looked extremely dominant and extremely fast. It was extremely dominant and extremely fast. The Blitz Speeder just took it out like nothing. Like it was racing the fast Fortress. But that's just one race. That's just one race. And we are going to see if the Night Draggin, now in lane 1, can come back and, you know, get something done. All right, let's see. We have the Night Draggin in lane 1. We have the Blitz Speeder in lane 2. Can the Night Draggin put on a performance? Where's that speed, that dominance that we just saw? We've been seeing it all afternoon, and now, you know, you get to the big moment and you shrink, but it's okay. You have another opportunity. The Night Dragin's in lane 1, the Blitz Speeder's in lane 2. Race number 2, here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. The Blitz Speeder's not playing any games. Not playing games at all. It takes the race. The Night Draggin was a worthy competitor-ish, but Not really. Let me grab up all these cars, head back into the garage, take a look at the winners, the losers, what we saw, and what we've got coming up. I'll be back in just a minute. So it was, it is, and it shall be that the Blitz Speeder is still our fastest in fleet car. I really did think that we had a serious shot at the Blitz Speeder getting knocked off. The Night Draggin had a great run, but the Blitz Speeder is just different. It is just a different, it's just a different car. And I don't know what it's going to take to beat it. We know for a fact, just having watched it in the wind tunnel, that the aerodynamic profile it reduces the impact of drag, and it's hard to tell what was going on with the Night Draggin in terms of drag, but whatever was happening, it wasn't the same as what's going on with the Blitz Speeder. And we had a Blitz Speeder versus Blitz Speeder race last week. This Blitz Speeder still came out on top, but the other Blitz Speeder was very close, which means it's not just this car. Like this particular car, it's not that there's some special thing to the design or the actual build of the car. It is the design. It's the shape. It's the styling of the car. It's the fact that there's nothing to impede the airflow over the car. So drag has less of an impact. This car slows down at a slower rate, and therefore it looks faster and maintains more speed on the track. This is the fastest Hot Wheels car on the planet until we find something else. And it's crazy because this one, the Night Draggin, was breathing fire. It was breathing fire on every car that it faced. I mean, just blowing them out. Like it wasn't even close. I mean, just destroying cars left and right. The aerodynamics of this thing, the shape, the style, the wing in the back, the hump in the middle, it's hard to even describe and figure out, but all we do know from the results is that this car is fast. And against any other car other than the Blitz Speeder, this would probably win out. Unfortunately, it did have to take on the Blitz Speeder, and that's just, there's no dishonor in losing to the Blitz Speeder. It's just how it goes. Now, we did have a late entry from Cindy, which was this one. So we never got to actually take a look at this because it just hit the track. It is this car, the 24/7, which weighs in at 33 grams. So it did well, and it's right in that sweet spot in terms of weight. It's a really good looking car, and you can see what I was talking about when I say that I see some Mazda, some Nissan in there. It's got the splitter down in the front. It's got that wing in the back, kind of right at the roof line, and it did a good job. And I think we had some fast cars in there. Blitz Speeder fast, that's another level. But this car did very well. The Valhalla Concept car was another one that did well. By the way, that Night Draggin weighed in at 30.7 grams. So it is possible that against the Blitz Speeder, that weight may have hurt it. It may have slowed it, caused it to slow down. The drag may have impacted it just enough. But the fact of the matter is, the Blitz Speeder beat it by margins that weren't necessarily all that close. So, you know, how much did it matter? All right, but let's see. I see that Roughshod and Christopher are already lined up for next week. And so let's take a look at the car that Roughshod is considering. Car number 242. 242. Oh, right. Oh, at first I thought it was this one, this 5 alarm. I'm like, whoa, are you sure? No, he's going with this one. The Vendetta. This is an interesting car. It looks like kind of a futuristic VW Bug Honda Civic hatchback type thing. We will see if this car has what it takes. Let's see. So Roughshod. This is car number 242. The Vendetta. All right. And it'll be interesting to see what's going on in the back. I don't know if maybe there's a bumper back there or if those tires are going to be pressed up against the launching block. That'll be interesting, but it's definitely got a more it's got that kind of bullet shape to it. So we'll see how that works out. And then let's see, Christopher is considering 2 cars, which I presume that you'll want to see in the wind tunnel and before you make your decision. So he's considering car number 311, which is this one. Okay, nice. I like that car. This Acura NSX right here. So let me just write that down. Is the Acura NSX is one he's considering. And the other he is possibly going to go with is car number 366, which is right here. Oh, somebody should tell Beyblader that we found another police car. So let's see. This is the Dodge Charger drift car, and this has looks to be, I want to say, a plastic body on a metal base, and pretty standard Charger, other than the sirens on the top. But we will see which car he ends up going with. And having 2 cars you're considering is cool. And then you put them in the wind tunnel and on Wednesday, and then you can kind of see the differences in the cars. It's a close-up examination. And as I said earlier, we got the Runsible working and inserted into the Winsible. So this Wednesday will be the first time we have an opportunity to see what difference does it make to raise the cars up in the wind tunnel versus what we've had to do in the past and keeping them low. And I will show you one more time let me switch it on. There we go. Jump over here to this view. This is what the what the Runsible wind tunnel looks like with the Runsible. The Runsible is the dyno down here, and so it's lifted the car up. And by lifting the car up, when we turn on the smoke, there are 5 smoke streams, and they start pretty low. And before we had the cars on the Runsible, the cars would sit really low and really only be impacted by the first 2 smoke streams. Now, because the cars are lifted up, all 5 of the smoke streams, or at least 4 of them, are going to come into play. So we'll be able to see the airflow over the top, and possibly we'll be able to see the airflow underneath, which will matter in some cases because some of the cars have these huge diffusers in the back, and we'll see if we see any kind of difference in the air and the turbulence that is shown kind of at the back end. So it should be interesting. We've got the Runsible on Wednesday. We have races on Saturday. And if you are interested in our science program all about aerodynamics, just go to AAAerodynamics.com or follow us on Instagram at AAAerodynamics, and you can get all the information you need about our science program all about aerodynamics. So we had a good set of races. Christopher's saying that the Dodge Charger Drift has faster than ever 2 wheels. I didn't catch that. Let me go take a quick look back. 366. I wasn't looking at the wheels necessarily, but let's see. 366. Those look pretty standard. I mean, maybe there is a version that has them, and maybe this is it. I don't know, but those look pretty standard, but we'll see. We will see if this is the car that you end up going with. We'll definitely see how it performs, if the wheels come into play, if this turns out to be a faster car than the others. We'll see. And then we'll get it to put it to the real test against the Blitz Speeder. So we had some good races. I've got more cars that I found in the bag that I picked up at the swap meet that I'd forgotten about. So we've got more cars to race. We've got your picks. We've got a track set up. We've got a wind tunnel. We've got a dyno. We've got all the things that you need to have some fun with Hot Wheels cars. So I will be here next Saturday, 11 a.m. Pacific. I will be here on Wednesday, 4 p.m. Pacific, on Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube with Wind Tunnel Wednesday. And if you want more information, I'll be here to give it to you all about aerodynamics. So, for all about aerodynamics, for AtTheTrack.live, for Wind Tunnel Wednesdays, for all those things, I am Coach James. And until next time, I'll see you at the races.